My hobby of reading Warhammer lore somehow convinced my friend's girlfriend I'm a neo-Nazi. Now, I'm being accused of harboring alt-right insignia, all because of a tiny flag and some sci-fi books. Can you believe this misunderstanding? And how do I clear my name? I'm a fixer. Always have been. Cars, houses, broken friendships. I like the tangible satisfaction of making something whole again. It's a quiet pride, the kind that doesn't need shouting. I'm 26, and my life has been, until recently, a comfortable hum of creation and repair. I work on cars in the mornings, carpentry in the afternoons, and spend evenings with my girlfriend, Clara, lost in the glow of a lathe or the satisfying thunk of a hammer. I'm also nerdy. I own that. I like science fiction. Big time. Not just movies, not just comics, but the sprawling, intricate universes built around them. Warhammer 40,000 is a particular obsession. I don't play the tabletop game, the miniatures and rules felt restrictive. But the lore, the sheer scale of the Imperium of Man, the grimdark future of humanity clinging to survival against overwhelming odds. It's endlessly fascinating. I devour the novels, the art, the history. It's escapism, sure, but it's also a deep dive into a meticulously crafted mythology. My girlfriend, Clara, bless her, understands this better than most. She's a photographer, an artist in her own right, and appreciates the creative impulse in any form. She even got me a little gift a few months ago, an Imperium of Man flag, small enough to fit in a frame. It hangs on my desk now, a tiny splash of imperial iconography amidst the organized chaos of my office, a room I poured my heart and soul into. I renovated the whole house myself, you see, refinished the floors, built new cabinets, added chair and panel molding to the walls. It's a source of genuine satisfaction, something I can point to and say, I made this. Dave, a friend from college, had been drifting a bit. He and his girlfriend, Seraphina, seemed happy enough, so Clara and I invited them over for dinner last week. I wanted to show them the house, let them see the work I'd put in. Dave's always been a decent guy, if a little directionless. Seraphina, I'd met only a handful of times. She seemed nice enough, quiet, but with a sharp intelligence in her eyes. The dinner itself was unremarkable. Good food, pleasant conversation, the usual small talk. I gave them a tour of the house, showing off the renovations with a quiet pride. It was when I brought them into my office that things shifted. My office is my sanctuary. It's small, tucked away at the back of the house, but it's filled with the tools of my trades, blueprints, sketches, and the collected ephemera of my interests. The Imperium flag hangs on the wall, framed and unassuming. That's when Seraphina went silent. She didn't say anything, just stopped talking and stared at my desk. I noticed it, of course, the abrupt cessation of her participation. I glanced at Clara, who mirrored my confusion. So, what do you think? I asked, gesturing around the room. She didn't answer. Dave, sensing the awkwardness, quickly changed the subject, steering the conversation back to lighter topics. The rest of the evening passed without incident, but the unsettling quiet from Seraphina lingered in the air, a strange, unacknowledged weight. Then came the text from Dave this week. Hey man, can't make it this week. Seraphina saw some concerning things at your place. I frowned, my fingers hovering over the screen. Concerning? What could possibly be concerning? What are you talking about? I typed back, a knot forming in my stomach. His reply was swift and unsettling. She thought you had alt-right insignia in your office. The flag. My blood ran cold. The flag. The flag. The Imperium of Man flag, a symbol of a fictional, dystopian empire, was being interpreted as what? A neo-Nazi symbol. It was absurd. Ridiculous. Dude, you know that's from Warhammer, right? I immediately texted back, attaching a link to the Warhammer wiki page explaining the flag's origins. It's sci-fi. Seriously, I waited for a response, the seconds stretching into an eternity. When it finally arrived, it wasn't from Dave. It was from Seraphina. A single, dismissive sentence. Ignorance is no excuse. The phone slipped from my numb fingers and clattered onto the floor. The message felt like a physical blow. Ignorance. As if I was willfully blind, a malicious actor masquerading as a harmless hobbyist. I stared at the screen, the harsh blue light reflecting in my widened eyes. I had genuinely believed that a simple explanation, a sincere apology, would smooth things over. I'd been wrong. Dangerously, catastrophically wrong. I spent the next few hours in a daze, staring at half-finished miniature models scattered across my workbench. The vibrant colors of the plastic, the meticulous detail I usually found so absorbing, now felt like a mocking reminder of my misplaced trust. My girlfriend, Maya, bless her, tried to coax me out of it. She offered tea, gentle reassurances, a shoulder to lean on. I appreciated her kindness, truly, but the knot in my stomach wouldn't loosen. This wasn't about a misunderstanding with a girlfriend, this was something else entirely. Dave finally answered my call around 6. His voice was strained, hesitant. I braced myself. "Look, Elias," he started, and I could hear the awkwardness in his tone. "Seraphina, she's really concerned. She's seen things." "Seen what?" I explained everything. "The flag, the lore. It's all just a game, Dave. A hobby." I tried to keep my voice level, but a tremor betrayed my anxiety. "She says there's Insignia. Alt-right insignia in your office." My blood ran cold. "What?" "That's insane. The flag is a Warhammer banner. It represents a specific faction within the game. It's a design." I felt a surge of anger, hot and sharp. How could she twist something so innocuous, so intrinsically tied to creativity and imagination, into this grotesque parody? I know, Dave rushed out, sounding flustered. I tried to tell her, but she's adamant. He trailed off, unwilling or unable to defend me. "So that's it. You're taking her word for it?" The question escaped my lips before I could stop it, a bitter accusation hanging in the air. I just need some time to process this, Elias. I need to think." The line went dead. I sent Seraphina a message. A link to the Warhammer 40,000 wiki page detailing the origins of the flag, a straightforward explanation of its historical context within the game. I didn't write anything else. No pleading, no justifications, just the facts. I waited, heart pounding, for a reply that never came. The next day brought a fresh wave of dread. It wasn't a direct message this time. It was a phone call from another mutual friend, Liam. "Hey, Elias," he said, his voice laced with uncomfortable sympathy. I've heard some things." "About what?" I asked, already knowing. "Seraphina's been talking to a lot of people. Our college group chat has been blowing up." My stomach dropped. "Talking about what?" "About you. About being a neo-Nazi." The words hit me with the force of a physical blow. Neo-Nazi. The label hung in the air, heavy and suffocating. I felt a wave of nausea wash over me. That's not true, Liam. It's a misunderstanding. She's completely misinterpreting my hobby. I know, man. I know. Everyone I've talked to knows it's ridiculous. But she's been really persistent, showing them those same articles, the ones connecting Warhammer to, you know. He didn't need to finish the sentence. I knew exactly what she was doing. Weaponizing ignorance, exploiting fringe theories to smear my character. She's gone beyond just Dave, I said, the realization hitting me with a sickening certainty. She's telling everyone. Liam sighed. "Yes, It's a mess. Dave's kind of shut down. He doesn't want to get involved. And that was the final blow. Dave, my friend, abandoning me to this manufactured storm. I felt a profound sense of isolation, a chilling awareness that I was alone in this fight. I knew then that this wasn't just about clearing up a misunderstanding. This was about damage control, and I was terrified. I heard whispers through Liam about what Seraphina was saying to my colleagues at the school. Dangerous things. Things that could cost me everything. The silence from Dave was the worst part. Not outright anger, not a furious denial of Seraphina's claims. Just distance, a careful avoidance. Had always been the steadfast one, the brother I never really had. Now, when I reached out, my messages went unanswered for hours, then were met with short, clipped replies about work or errands. I knew he was listening to her, absorbing her poison. He didn't have to believe it, he just had to entertain the possibility. That was enough to poison the well. Liam, bless him, tried. He'd pull me aside at the pub, his face etched with a mixture of sympathy and discomfort. Look, man, she's intense. You know, people are saying she's overreacting, but his voice lacked conviction. He was walking on eggshells, and I understood why. Associating with me felt risky for him. Then came the escalation. It started subtly, a pointed remark from a parent at a school event about making sure we're all aware of the sensitivities. Then, a direct message on the school's parent forum anonymous, of course questioning my suitability to work with children. The implication was sickening. Seraphina. It had to be. She'd found a way to weaponize my profession against me. I scrolled through the post, my hands shaking so badly I almost dropped my phone. The language was insidious, carefully crafted to sound concerned while simultaneously painting me as a predator. Given recent concerns about extremist ideologies, shouldn't we ensure all staff maintain the highest ethical standards and are demonstrably committed to inclusivity? Just a thought. The thought was a landmine. My stomach churned. I imagined the principal's face, the HR director's cold professionalism. ID built a career, a life, around teaching those kids. I loved it. And now, because of a flag, a symbol ID always understood as a historical artifact, a quirky piece of hobbyist lore, I was being branded a threat. ID tried to reason with Dave. A single, desperate phone call. Dude, she's spreading lies. This is destroying my life. Head listened, his tone even, almost neutral. I understand you're upset, Elias. But Seraphina's genuinely concerned. She sees things. He trailed off, the unspoken words hanging heavy in the air. She sees things you don't. She's protecting us. The final blow landed in a private message, slipped into my inbox via a mutual contacts account. I knew instantly it was Seraphina, likely using a burner. The message was blunt, devoid of any pretense. You shouldn't be around children. You're a danger. Consider this a warning. My world tilted. This wasn't just about social awkwardness or hurt feelings. This was deliberate sabotage. She knew I was a teacher. She knew the vulnerability of my position. She was actively trying to destroy me. I spent the next few days in a near-constant state of anxiety. I avoided the school, feigning illness. I checked my email obsessively, bracing myself for the inevitable official inquiry. I pictured the investigation, the interviews, the scrutiny, the whispers, the loss of everything ID worked for. Sleep became a luxury. Every shadow seemed to hold a potential accuser. Every notification brought a surge of panic. I felt like a cornered animal, desperate and afraid. I knew I had to do something. I couldn't just cower and wait for the hammer to fall. But what could I do? Confront Seraphina? That would only validate her accusations, paint me as someone desperate to defend himself. Sue her. The legal fees would bankrupt me, and the publicity would only amplify the damage. I looked at the Warhammer flag, folded neatly in a drawer. It felt like a curse now, a symbol of my own stupidity. A hobby, a passion, had become a weapon against me. I wondered if I could just burn it, erase the evidence, pretend it never existed. But even that felt like an admission of guilt. The fear hadn't subsided. It had just mutated, sharpened. It wasn't just fear of losing my job anymore. It was fear of what she would do next. What other accusations would she conjure? And who would believe me when I tried to defend myself?
Hello, I'm Dr. Julian Reed. It sounds like you're in a genuinely distressing situation, and I want to acknowledge that right away. What you've described is incredibly frustrating and, frankly, quite upsetting. It takes a lot of courage to reach out and articulate what's happening. So thank you for sharing this with me. It's clear you've built a life of purpose and pride, finding satisfaction in tangible creation and nurturing a deep appreciation for a complex, fictional universe. You've poured your heart and soul into your home, your work, and your relationships. And now, this friend's girlfriend, Seraphina, is attempting to dismantle your reputation and your sense of self based on a misinterpretation of your hobbies. That's a painful thing to experience. The fact that you've been invited into this situation, wanting to share your space and craftsmanship with friends, and then being met with such a bizarre and unfounded accusation is really difficult. It's understandable that you're looking for ways to protect yourself. Let's unpack this a bit. Seraphina's reaction to the flag, the abrupt silence, the subsequent lack of engagement, that's not a normal response to a decorative item. It's a dramatic reaction, and it immediately raises a red flag. It sounds like she's projecting something onto you, and it's not based in reality. The Warhammer lore, as you explained, is about a grimdark future, a dystopian setting. It's a commentary on humanity's struggle, not an endorsement of any real-world ideology. To conflate that with neo-Nazism is a blatant misrepresentation and a serious accusation. What's particularly concerning is that this appears to be a form of gaslighting. She's creating a narrative, a false perception of you, and trying to make you question your own reality. The silence, the lack of explanation, the implication that you are something you are not, these are classic manipulation tactics. It's designed to destabilize you, to make you doubt yourself, and to isolate you. The fact that Dave is seemingly going along with this, or at least not challenging it, is also a factor. It's possible he's uncomfortable confronting Seraphina, or doesn't understand the situation himself. But ultimately, it's her behavior that is the problem, and you shouldn't feel obligated to defend yourself to someone who is clearly acting in bad faith. Right now, your priority should be protecting your own well-being and your reputation. This isn't about proving something to Seraphina, it's about safeguarding yourself. We need to explore strategies for doing that, which will involve setting boundaries, managing the impact of this situation on your emotional state, and perhaps even addressing the dynamic within your friend group.